Go, 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 play it. God, I love this song.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ben.
It's DJ hour, huh? In friendly time zones for our Aussie mates.
Yeah,
Good morning.
I'm not used to this because it's very bright here.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It's good because I think that we'll probably get a lot of people that normally join, and then we'll also get some of the people that are unable to normally. Hey, good morning. So it's time to 11 p.m. there, Hanford. Better than 9 a.m. All right. How do we want to get underway? How is everybody going? Everybody doing well? Normally I'm in bed listening to these. Oh, really? Same time as the normal call for you. Right.
Which bar managers do you know? And grease the wheels.
Pete, is that Shiba right now?
Yes, the official vegan coin.
Holy shit. Damn.
That's where you know. How many of you were around during the last bull run or the bull run before? How many of you have been around for bull runs?
I was around for the last bull run.
You were?
Left before the peak. No regrets.
This is your first. Yeah. So I'll give you a little bit of a history. This is very, very, very predictable. So I think those of you who joined the other night, I was talking about Bitcoin Cash and how you know that the four tokens that are listed on PayPal being Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. No one likes to touch the big ones because they don't think they can move up as much. But the thing that you've got to understand is when they go into Venmo and stuff, or Venmo, whatever the hell it's called, and you start looking at that globally, and people look at the price of Bitcoin and say 65K. Oh, there's the Bitcoin Cash, and that's only 500, which it was the other day. Look at those things start to tear. Very, very obvious patterns and cycles. Doge normally symbolises the beginning of a bull run, and many people said, like I'm talking about the parabolic stages, and many people said last time, how come it pumped and we didn't have a massive, massive run yet like parabolic? That's because normally it starts on its own accord. But Elon Musk had a bit to do with it this time, didn't he? Look at that. I'd never even heard of that Shiba coin until the other night. First bull run. Yeah, so what happens is second bull run, Crypto J. So chime in, guys. Let me know what you think. But for example, you used to be able to go to places like Cryptopia and there'd be coins like Mint Coin, which would be one Satoshi. And you'd know that a lot of people would come into the space and say, I can't afford Bitcoin, but look at this thing. It's one Satoshi. If it goes to $1 and I buy 1 million of them, I'll be a millionaire. And you'd notice if you watched all of those one Satoshi tokens or coins on all the different exchanges, if you started seeing the volumes go up, you'd know that all the OGs were piling in. They'd do it bit by bit, slow and steady, and then all the new people would come in, and then you'd start seeing Mint 1 Satoshi, and then it would start to absolutely pump and go to 16, 17 Satoshis. And this was the standard cycle. The first bull run is to get wrecked. Well, for a lot of people, that's why it's very important to have price targets for everything. If you don't have an exit position, you shouldn't enter. And it's very easy to get caught up in the whirlwind and say, wow, my initial projection was, and now it's going to XYZ. It's very good to have some targets. People cashing out for the summer vacation will cause a bear market. Starting around Memorial Day will snowball into a small crash. Well, I would say the fact that I don't even know what Memorial Day is. I think that's an American thing, is it?
Memorial Day is the official beginning of summer in the United States of America. It's always a 3-day weekend, and it kicks off our summer. So I think people cashing out right before it, because there is a lot of profit, is going to just start a trend that will freak out a lot of new people and cause a small crash. That's just my prediction.
Yeah, so Hanford, for the benefit of everyone in this call, could you give a date as opposed to Memorial Day, because nobody knows when the hell that is?
Oh, it's always the last Friday of May. So right around
So last Friday of May.
Yeah, and
but don't forget.
So sell Shiba 2 weeks before that.
But don't forget that there's not as much. The markets aren't controlled as much by the US as they were before. There's a lot more money in other regions now, and back in the old days, China would have their New Year or whatever. Going back, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, China would have their New Year, and everything would basically stop, and then they'd come back from Chinese New Year, and it would absolutely pump. What do they call it? Ghost Week or something, and then it would absolutely pump, and then that stopped happening as much. And then at Christmas time every year, Bitcoin would go berserk, and then that stopped happening. Then you'd see the complete correlation between alts and Bitcoin, and then stable coins were introduced, and then that started to move further and further apart. So the thing is, you just got to be up with there's a lot of trends that move and shift, and you just got to be able to keep up with it all. But ultimately, same thing applies, I reckon. You find something with good fundamentals that's on a good trajectory and a good market, people will always jump off of things to chase shiny things, and they'll come back. Generally, they can't get back in. But ultimately, you just got to, once it starts to go absolutely parabolic, the market, like really fast, really, really quick, after Bitcoin's done its massive parabolic run, and then it starts to pull back a little bit and people take profits, that's when the alts go bananas, and that's when you really sort of have to make sure you don't get greedy, and you have to take some or all of the money off the table, because if it goes up that fast, it's going to come down that fast generally. Very concerning. Who was in crypto texted me this morning asking if, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's amazing for those people. I must admit, I've got to scour through a couple of old. I remember buying tons of it back when it first came out, and putting it, and just it was worth nothing. And like you could buy millions of it for nothing, and you'd throw those wallets away. You wouldn't even care about them. They're worth nothing. But I think there'll be a lot of people scouring through cupboards looking for old keys and passwords and stuff now. There you go. Oh no, we're into different. Will there be any cake RFOX staking pools on PancakeSwap? Wow, Milkman. All I can say is we've got a lot of things happening on the BSC side, of course, because we're getting very close to going over there. We've gone through the audit process, and we'll be able to buy RFOX in a pool before you'll be able to farm and stake. So that's good news. It means there won't be a rush at the last minute. But let's just say that we've got a lot of interesting deals already done. Now we just have to wait for them to be rolled out. Will there be a KOGs battle? Yes. Yes, EMAS, there will be. Yes. Well, Milkman, in the beginning, the staking pools for LPs, the liquidity pools will actually be higher percentage, obviously, but even though they may be presented as a percentage, we're going for the methodology of trying to do it slightly differently. It's the same thing, really, but we've got a set amount of tokens, so whatever percentage of the pool you have will dictate what the return is. But yes, it's they're fluctuating percentages, and they will start very high. Obviously, for the first few hours or the first day, it's going to be very high. Will the BSC Fox Bridge be in place a few days before the VFox pool is accessible? Tapped in, I think we can honestly, openly say that it's in testing now. So I don't know what that means, other than we're testing it and then it has to go through the audit process. But the audit process isn't very long. So in an ideal situation, you'll have close to 2 weeks to be able to send money across. Marketing will be ramped up in the next few weeks. What sort of channels will this be through? So again, FMH, we're working with on the BSC side to try and do a bit of a push, and we've got a lot of big marketing help. So we're going to be welcomed into those communities with open arms, which is great. And they've got massive audiences, as you know. So we're looking at AMAs and marketing through their channels, all the rest of it, and they have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people on each of their channels. So I think their AMAs get 60 to 70,000 is a good one. 30,000 they get.
She's the other day, and she said, "Oh yeah, I heard my name, and I was half concentrating on something, and then as he was walking out, I said, 'Bye, Matt,' but I wasn't sure if he actually heard me." So she did see.
Yeah.
Also, she's doing our scoring today.
Oh, nice.
That's her duty that she's had to stick.
Oh, I thought that was an actual question.
Yeah, I was listening in if it was a question or not. I've server muted.
Same here. It's an Aussie though. Getting back to your question, it'll be like a Twitter, podcasts and AMAs. The ones that don't do that well still get 30,000 live listens and stuff, so that's pretty big. I think the Binance side of things understand that it's a good project coming across and the potential of this as well. So lots of potential deals being done. So we're just trying to work out how to coordinate it all. And Philip's madly working with the ad agencies to make sure that we give this a good push as well. We've got a decent budget and a great group of people behind it, so we expect some pretty creative stuff. And you'll know with us, we always hold back a little bit and we do things in dribs and drabs. We will make sure that the review for the virtual space has been done leading up to the farming, then the farming and staking, and obviously that'll have high rewards. But I guess the two indications, which are kind of the degen indications, are I had an extended family member ask to borrow money today, and they were asking to borrow money to buy RFOX, so that's a good sign. And then the second thing is that we're seeing that some of the bigger companies that have sort of talked to us about doing partnerships and deals in the past are reaching out and trying to buy VFox from us, and we're saying we don't have any to sell. We're in the same situation as you. It's a fair launch, so to speak. Yes, it's a pre-mine, but there's no way that we can get it unless we buy from the pools just like you. So getting more and more of the people calling and asking for VFox. And the weird thing is that on this little tiny pullback, I've got more people asking about buying VFox and RFoX and how to go about it. So that's obviously pretty good. Yeah, so Crypto J, yeah. So yeah, we'll get into strategy in a minute as well. I can talk to you around that. I would love to hear your thoughts as well. Could I sell medicinal marijuana in a virtual store in the virtual land? Actually, we've been asked that before, Milkman. The idea of the quartermasters is to make sure that there's a brand protection and there's no sort of, we don't get any sort of obviously illicit type of stores and structures. So the idea is to make sure that it's still an okay place for families to be able to go as well. But the more and more we talk to people, they're saying cordon off a section and have that for gambling or for something like that. But the thing is, once it comes to local rollouts and people can actually deliver stuff, that's when you'll start to see people asking for all sorts of weird and exotic type of stores. So we've got some plans on that we'll roll out and tell you how the quartermasters work. And as you can see yesterday, we can talk about that as well.
I can move to my phone. Don't worry. I'm just listening.
We rolled out a
No, I think it's in a car. Come on.
We also rolled out the metric for the tokens as well, which means that we've also put aside a little buffer for the quartermasters just in case it's a little bit slow to get going as far as revenue is concerned. So that way the quartermasters that come in that look after the stores, and we'll go through a recruitment process shortly for that, will have a decent amount of income as well. Percentage of the pool will be calculated daily. As new people add liquidity, that percentage will change. So Z-Train, it's actually just an amount of tokens per block. So it's like 5 million in the first week. So it's the amount of tokens divided by the amount of people in the pool. It's really that simple as far as that's concerned. So the more people in the pool, the less your share is. Before VFOX, no, what you'll do is you'll get a look around. So you'll be able to see what the world design will look like and where the store layouts are and what a shop looks like. We had a mock-up of a shop that we put up on our site, but since then it's progressed hugely. So there'll be new store designs that are much more upgraded. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger, this thing. Leave the mic on this time. Definitely an Aussie. Well, I'm behind. I don't know. Are the stamps being released on Monday? What you spoke about on Wednesday? You're talking about the limited edition. Are you talking about the stamps, or are you talking about the limited edition NFTs? It is soothing.
Yeah,
Well,
the limited edition NFTs that were in that article with the stamps.
Yeah, it's going to be Tuesday.
Different things. Those are two different things, Amber.
Okay, awesome. More to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. The limited edition thing that's only available for those who don't know, for KOGs holders, we haven't announced who that is, but it's a massive brand that you know very well. Every single person on the call knows it extremely well. It's only available to KOGs holders. It will be on Tuesday US time. Hasn't been announced yet. It'll be announced by them, as stated. There'll really be no mention of us because it's we're actually helping them into the market, and this is their first foray in, and it needs to be known that they've gone out and done it. So we're the ones who have put it all together and facilitated it and made sure it all happens, which is why only KOGs holders get it. And then this will lead to a longer term deal where we will go out and be able to talk about the association. Just wanted to clarify, read the pic below. With the idea that there'll be snapshots taken throughout each quarter. So basically, if you get in early, you get more pieces of the pie compared to someone who buys the VFOX at the end of the quarter. No, so what we're looking at doing, Madame, is we're looking at making it retrospectively. So what would happen is the quarter would finish, and then the known payout would be declared, and then so you'd have plenty of notice. You would know at the payout time what that result is. So it would be done retrospectively. So right now you'd be being paid for the last 3 months. So you'd know what the total is, and it would be very clearly communicated.
I didn't get a question.
Yep.
So this morning during our G-Gen hour, after we had saw the announcement, I was looking at it. They had a breakdown of the auction proceeds that are raked in from the RFOX. And there was, I think it was, the number was 15% that goes back to the VFOX holders. And I had asked Pete, I thought it was 1%. He said that there's going to be times down the road where RFOX will select, certain events or whatnot that will, be more than the 1% allocation to VFOX.
Correct. So in answer to that, we wanted to make sure that while it gets going, we didn't want to do just the 1%. What we wanted to do was, that's why the picture basically says that we're going to be pumping proceeds from the sale of the shops back into the VFOX holders so that it makes it a bit more enticing. We really sat down and thought about it because obviously it's a revenue stream for us and it's money to build the project. And we sort of thought, right, if this thing's going to be successful, it needs two things. We're better off to give back and to burn and to increase the value to the token holders because that makes the smaller piece of the pie more valuable from a development perspective. So we tried to balance that as best as we possibly could. But going back to your question, there'll be events, and we're already working on some with musicians and I'll just call them performers, that would happily give back something or give back a larger percentage to the holders, or if we've bought. So I don't want to complicate or confuse people because this is, as you know, with contracts and deals, it's very difficult. But how it works is sometimes people will pay an artist. So I might pay Drake $250,000 to perform, and therefore we would get a payment from everybody for tickets, and therefore we can offer a higher return. Does that make sense? So we can turn around and say, well, we paid $250K for the rights to that. We got $1 million back. So let's give $250K back to the VFOX holders. So the percentage would increase. Soon we'll be ordering RFOX shoes. No comments on that. Oh yeah, that's a good question. Z-Train. So I had a few people that are actually, I consider these people to be quite switched on and clever. So, and they asked me the question, and the first time someone asked me, I thought, God. And then I started thinking, hang on, quite a few people are asking me, they're not understanding it. So if you're familiar with many models, and I'm trying to think of other projects that do NFTs and stuff, you might know OMI or OMG, or they're not an NFT company, obviously, but the model is very simple. We've told you since day one that we don't want the end user to ever know that they're using crypto long term. We want to be able to replace products and services that are in the market and the end user not understanding they're using crypto. So if they're using fiat or whatever they're using, fiat, other cryptos, when it finally does become more mainstream, we're converting into RFOX. So that means behind the scenes, simplified version, there's a buy order to buy RFOX to settle the transaction. So people have come back and said, well, why don't you just accept RFOX and just, I don't know if you've ever been in any other communities from the old days or whatever. If you try and force one particular coin down a person's throat and that's the only thing they can use ever, have a look at the track record. It doesn't work. People don't like to spend Bitcoin if they think it's going to go up. Like I've said this before a million times, and you guys call it the DGen hour and stuff. How many of you guys are going to go in and actually use Bitcoin to buy coffee when you know it's going to go up? So the thing is, we want RFOX to be demanded, bought, used, and continually being coursed through. But if we want mass adoption, we need to make it that it's easy for everybody to use our products regardless of what they've got in their pocket. They don't need to know that they're all using RFOX.
Sorry, Benny, can I just clarify that with you as well?
Yep.
So what I'm talking about is with the liquidity pool originally,
Yep.
So you've got the RFOX to buy VFOX on day one. Are we able, so like with Uniswap, when you buy a different coin, so for example, you know, I might have sold some Raiden or something and I wanted to get RFOX and that was routed, so I sold it, but in the line, it went Raiden into USD, into ETH, into VFOX. So that's what I'm getting at. Is it going to work like that?
Yep. So it's like hops. So for example, if I sell 2 ECT, so if I sell the 2 ECT token into Ethereum or whatever, it'll course through RFOX. So it's a hop. Yes.
Beautiful.
And again, the end user doesn't need to know how the electricity gets from the power plant to the power point that powers your air conditioner. They just need to turn on the air conditioner and be cooled down. So what we're trying to say is a lot of what happens in the background, we have to work extremely hard to make sure that's hidden from the end user. And I don't mean hidden as in we're hiding it from you. I mean as in it's not any relevance or they don't care about it. But for the RFOX holders, it's important that they understand and can see that everything's coursing through there and the transaction volume's huge and there's a big demand. So yes, you're right, it would course through.
Perfect.
Yeah. Skyscraper. Tuesday. Yeah, it'll be Tuesday US time. We're not sure whether it's morning or night yet. We're waiting on their lead. And it will be only for COGs holders. That's correct. So how it will work is there's 2 designs and there's 100 of each. It'll get a lot of fanfare and it'll get a massive audience because these guys are massive. But as I say, if you're looking for some massive branded partnership or whatever, that's not going to happen. These guys have to, for a particular reason, they need to be first to market. They need to get out there and they need to show that they did it to test the market for them. So that we're just the facilitators. A crypto called Factum does the same thing where the user buys services but doesn't know about the crypto. Unfortunately, they struggled a lot despite having contracts from US government. Yeah, well, that could be, I think you might have answered your own question there in that statement. But yeah, Factum, they also didn't have a very good product release and pretty buggy launch and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of examples where it does work. I can give you a million examples where only being able to use one token doesn't work. But the thing is, we want to get to a point where we offer the option, and once things do become a bit more mainstream, people should be able to have the choice on what they use as well. They should be able to pull out their mobile wallets and use whatever type of payment method they like. Game theory strategies, yeah, okay. So you don't actually need to go out and buy a bunch of RFOX to purchase RFOX, but we do need the RFOX ready to match the VFOX when the LP. Correct, 100%. Is there a minimum COG holding? No. It'll be a lookup on whether you've got COGs in your wallet. Will people know it's only for COGs holders? That's a very good question. It is only for COGs holders. We're not going to be going out and massively advertising that. We've done that in this channel. We've done it on the download. We haven't been out going and doing a massive advertising campaign. It'll be partially advertised that it's only for COGs holders. I don't think they want a massive song and dance about that fact, but that was a condition I put in for helping them. So I thought that was important. All right, so strategies. You got it, Crypto J? Yeah, that's the thing. Crypto J, what happens is a lot of people come to us and say, hey, we're a big brand. You should do something for us and do it for free because we're a huge brand or whatever. And these guys just want to get into the market a lot of the time, and they don't. That's not the case with these guys. These guys are actually more sort of has to be coaxed into whether it's a good idea or whether it's a bad idea. Give it a try, give it a test. So, one of the prerequisites is they want to see these things go fast, even though they're free. They want to see them go fast because that's a good way to sort of go out and say, hey, we've gone fast. It's very popular. And they want to see them trading on the secondary market. So you can't really do that for new people to crypto that don't know how to sign up, don't know how to get a wallet, don't know how to use things. So that's to say, all right, we'll help you, and it can lead to something much longer term. But you have to give it to COGs holders because they're our people, and those guys know how to receive something, and they know how to put it on the market, and they know how to sell it, and they know how to put it up, and it's going to be a smooth cycle. So no brainer. Yeah, that's no worries, CH1B. That's my job. If our guys have to do work, we need to get something from it. It is a free drop for COG holders, yes. They will go for 1 second. If they go for 1 second, Crypto J, that increases our chances of being able to do something longer term with them. Yeah, no news. It's not ours to announce because it's not our drop. We've facilitated it and helped them. That's it. This is a foray into the market. It's not a partnership. It is us facilitating, helping, and getting it done for them, making sure that it's not on ETH and costs $1 billion in gas fees, making sure it's going to people that know how to use NFTs and sell them and put them up for sale. I'm sure if they go in 3 seconds and they're up on the market and people are trading them, then they'll go out and do a massive advertising push on that. I just wish we had our platform ready in time. Unfortunately, we don't.
Are you saying you want us to be willing to sell them instead of being a bunch of little hoarders?
I don't have to tell you guys anything because the fact is
No,
that
in
100
a
of each is a
DGen
small.
hour, what would your hope be to see from the community that you've seen cultivated over the past year?
I would hope that they get. I'd hope that they have a price point for reference. I don't care if that's $10 or $15 or $100 or $1,000. I think 100 of each of these as a big brand, never been on the market before. I think it would obviously do quite well. But ultimately, if we go back and say they were gone in 2 seconds and they were free and they're trading for $10 each, that's enough. If it was they were trading free, one sold for 1,000 and another one sold for 1,500, and there's very few on the market. No one wants to get rid of them. They all want to keep them. That's just as bullish and encouraging. Doesn't matter which way it comes through. I can. That's a positive story for me to go back to them with. So ultimately, regardless of what I tell you, a couple of people will put them up on the market for sale, and a couple of people will buy them. So I don't think we really have to steer this in any way, shape, or form. And I think it's good to let it go naturally and see how it plays out. Well, EMAS, I think we're going to do it a lot through here. You'll see it, and what they'll go out and talk about it, and then we'll re-reference it in here. But you'll know who it is because as soon as you see it, you're going to say, "Holy God, is that what they're talking about?" Surely not, but you'll know. And the fact is that the verification is the fact that only KOGs holders can get it. Okay. So, strategies. What are you going to do? Will be able to claim with an anchor or scatter or WAM only? I'll clarify that. I'm not sure, Skyscraper. Not 100% sure. Let me find out. Strategy for VFOX. Hold your RFOX, do nothing. Actually, it's very interesting you say that. I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Germs, yeah. Is that right? Well, Germs, the more people that I talk to, the more I hear that they say that they're going to do that. Just hold, because the strategy that I'm hearing a lot is that if they hold, and a lot of people go over and farm for VFOX, and there's a deflationary mechanic now because we're burning all of the yield that we get, but they've effectively got 2 weeks to scout out the situation and the opportunity, and then they can go across and either stake their RFOX if they didn't get their hands on VFOX, or join the pools and monitor the price. Whereas other people think that's a mental strategy and that they have to get into the early part of the VFOX. But, we've got a few people that are also concerned or worried. They're saying, is the volume that you're putting in the pool enough? Now, we can't lock up too much because otherwise it's that the whole thing doesn't work. But a lot of people are saying, is there some way that you can help us to stop it from going from, like, for example, if it goes live today, 2 for 1, so the VFOXs would be put in at the rate of, 13 cents each. And so people are worried if a whale comes in or someone comes in and tries to buy $5,000 or $6,000 worth, it could go to $6 or $7 a token. Is there a way to make sure that that everybody gets a fair chance of getting in? Well, it's exactly the same as any other launch. It is going to fluctuate wildly, and the thing that you need to understand is if you did miss out in the first 5 minutes of buying into the pool and you thought, damn, the price went up too fast, soon as the actual allocations or the yield starts coming out, there will be some people that are selling those because they're getting a higher rate of return, and therefore that puts some sell pressure back as well. So, all things being equal, it would stop the thing from flying too fast. It might sort of find some equilibrium, but this is all speculation, of course. Mine is to ape in and get as much VFOX, then use staking rewards for yield farming. So one-sided XP. Pete, you're going to hold, are you, Pete?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm still undecided. Every day I run my simulations. You can never know what's going to happen. So, in fact, actually, all the simulations that I'm running, I think probably is not going to happen. it's probably going to happen, something else. That's my take.
Yeah, but Phantom, you can't buy $6,000 worth of VFOX at 13 cents. It's not how it works. Soon as obviously those tokens come out of the pool, the price there's less of them there, so the price is going up. Someone could actually do the math on it quite simply. I haven't sat down and done it yet, but it's quite easy to calculate. There's all sorts of IP calculators and stuff now. Ramses, you might have one, do you? I know lots of people have them. I don't have one in front of me because I'm on my phone, but effectively, if you've got 2 million VFOX and 1 million RFOX, you can use calculators. I'm sure someone in here is a degen enough to be able to link one in there kindly for the other people. You can actually put that in there. It will tell you what the price will move to if you invest a certain amount. Is the VFOX being dropped at 2 million when the pool starts, or X amount being added each hour? No, so there's two parts to that question, FMH. We will put in the 2 million VFOX and 1 million RFOX and lock that away for a year, but other people will be putting in money. They'll be buying VFOX and then matching that with RFOX and putting it in continually. Yes, the brand will announce through their social channels and will reshare it in these channels. Yeah, I'll race you to. I really like to get some land and rent and eventually open a shop and work with my graphic designer friend, get him out of his dead-end job designing granny clothes. Actually, it's really interesting you say that as well, Emas, because we've now got a couple of big clients that are coming in for applying for the marquee type of stores that can bring in lots of crowds. And ironically, we've got a couple of them that do multiple brands or, for example, I'll just make it up so I don't give it away. But like, for example, it might be selling multiple products from multiple brands. So it's more like a convenience store than it is like just a Mars bar store or a Snickers store. They sell like lots of different things. And I don't know how it goes on behind the scenes, but those guys have obviously pulled a whole heap of brands together and they're looking at doing a mix so that they've got a whole lot of different brands that they offer. But, if we go along the same trajectory as we're going now, once we show people the world, it's going to spark a lot more interest. Obviously, we've already got a lot of interest from big brands. It is very interesting. In the beginning, it's possible that some stores will still be affordable. I'm not sure. I know that by the time we roll out to the local levels as well, it's going to be a bit more mental. But there's no telling how much these things will go for. I've got no idea. Yep. Any prediction who will be the largest holder of VFOX? Could people have 1 million VFOX? Yeah, of course. Well, we'll have 2 million in the pool locked away, but as we've stated, what will happen is the whole 5 months that the tokens are coming out, we're converting our share to RFOX and then burning those. So in the beginning, it's good if we've got a large part of the pool because you're seeing the RFOX supply go down. I think that, in every single launch of every single token, and I watch it all the time, there's a lot of the OGs that like a project, they want to be number one wallet holder or top 5 wallet holders. So what they'll do is they'll wait for these hyped up releases to come out and people buy these launch pads and they only get like $500 worth, but they sell them for 10 grand. And the whales are not, these systems are whale resistant. So you can only buy $500 worth. So what they do is they wait for the hype to finish and it start to crash and they just pick it off. And they spend a month or two just accumulating. Like I know a couple of whales are looking at ORK, and a few of the other IOS or whatever it's called, and a few of those BSC ones that they're picking them off and trying to become largest wallet holder. But yes, I'm going to go as deep as I can. Any prediction? Yeah. Does that make sense? Is anyone confused about how this works? Yes, exactly right. EMAS like a surf shop with lots of different brands. Someone give me a shovel or something to be able to mine better. I honestly do not avail anything, and I cannot invest since I just started in this, and I cannot risk the little money that I have left. Thanks for your time. Okay. How are the VFOX awarded to single coin staking pools versus the LP after 2 weeks? Yeah, so tapped in, we've got a schedule that we'll show you. So basically what happens is the main pool with the LP pools are always higher rewards. And then after the second week, there's an allocation that goes to both the VFOX and the RFOX pools for staking, which is just single-sided, meaning you'll just put your VFOX or your RFOX in, and then you'll get a certain number of VFOX will come into each of those pools per week. And again, it's divided by the amount of people that are in there. But the thing is, there's no impermanent loss there, meaning that the fluctuation of the token price is normal. It's not pegged against another token, and therefore you don't have impermanent loss. You just have the normal fluctuations. Crypto J. A humpback whale, 5 million RFOX or more. Not many people have that. Will there be a guide? Yes, there will be a guide for sure. One thing I will say is that there is lots of guides on how to do it, or we're going to point you to other people's guides for the majority of it, because we don't want people to be going in there and not knowing what they're doing and getting burned or losing money and then hating the system. The thing is that when you're doing yield farming, it's an extremely high risk type of situation, and we want that to be known. We actually care about the fact that you've put your hard earned into things. So anyone who's going into it needs to understand the associated risks, and you need to be able to do this, because we don't have a support centre that can answer questions for 9 hours a day on how to navigate your way around, or what impermanent loss means, or all the rest. Or we can point you to all the materials, but ultimately I keep saying to people, don't do it if you don't understand it. And I've got lots of people that I know that have just got into crypto that have bought RFOX, and they're asking me how to do it, and I say, watch these videos. They come back, some of them, and say, got it. Others say, I've got no idea what's going on, and I say, stay the hell away from it. So just be really, really, really careful. Even Crypto J, even those impermanent losses, have you read some of those articles? Some of them explain it really, really poorly, like they don't get it. It isn't easy to understand. And the thing is, if you have a look at, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'll probably get in trouble, but we know this is true. Have a look at some of the dynamics of how these farms work, and have a look through their books and instruction manuals. This is not done by people who are sitting in their mum's basement. This is these are big institutions doing this under the guise of anonymous teams actually testing out the markets and how it all works. But you look at some of those formulas, it's quite complicated. Okay, yep. So what's your strategy? A couple of people have put their stuff up. I keep getting asked what I would personally do. Obviously, that's a question I can't really answer, but what I'm saying is I don't know. I mean, as a person, if I'm looking at this from an outside perspective, I'm always curious. Like, personally, I know I probably shouldn't answer these questions, but like I told you, we're going to do a reveal, and we're going to do a marketing campaign, and we've got lots of help on the Binance side. But honestly speaking, if it were me, I would be hoping, from an outsider, I'd be hoping that RFOX doesn't do much marketing, and there isn't a huge amount of attention, because that means that being an RFOX holder, I'm going to potentially stand to scoop up a lot more of this as it comes to light. And then I hope people cotton on after a while, and I want to be able to be a little bit selfish and get in and do really well, and not have to share it with a whole lot of new people who have just discovered RFOX. So, but the whole idea is it's a virtuous circle, isn't it? Because what happens is, if new people are coming in and new people are coming into the ecosystem, then that causes demand, and it causes people to know. But personally speaking, I always want to have a little toe in the water of all sides, because I don't want to say that I've missed out, and I want to try, but I wouldn't be sure what direction to fully go. I'll end up with more RFOX, that VFOX due to permanent loss, so be it. Not upset about it at all. It's more VFOX than RFOX. Happy days as well. Can't really lose unless one token goes into the other and stays stable, which can't really see happening. Yeah, that's a good point, Crypto J. I actually, believe it or not, when the pullback happened just overnight, like I say, nothing causes something like that. So those types of fluctuations are. But I woke up expecting to see some people saying, "What's going on? Why is it pulling back?" And I had a couple of people on the impermanent loss side saying, "Thank God it pulled back a little bit because I was it's helped my position as far as an LP is concerned." What's the ratio of VFOX tokens for staking rather than liquidity pool? FMH will release the schedule for how they come out. I don't have the numbers right in front of me at the moment, but I don't know if you remember them off the top of your head, Pete, but is it a third or thereabouts? I can get you those numbers, they're no secret. But the thing is that they're nowhere near as high as the LP pool, obviously. But the VFOX and RFOX pools are the same, essentially, staking pools. Now, they may return.
Yeah, Benny, sorry, I was handling the kit earlier. Yeah, I think it's about 25% staking and 75 farming.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So it is lower.
I'm out right now. I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Yeah, I'm the same. Somewhere between 25% and 33%. We can share them. There's no secret to how that works. There's obviously less risk. There's no, as far as impermanent loss is concerned, and roughly, so that is the one part of a strategy. A lot of people have asked me, well, if I get VFOX in the beginning and I get it early, and then I decide to remove my risk from impermanent loss, and I just stake the VFOX, will I get roughly the same amount of VFOX as if I was staking my RFOX? And the answer is yes. So if you're in the RFOX pool or the VFOX pool for staking, there's roughly the same allocation to both pools. So you could scoop up VFOX early and then just put your VFOX in the staking pool and then earn more VFOX. Is there a date for VFOX release? Yeah, it'll be the end of the month. We haven't officially announced that yet, but we're targeting the 30th. So it's going to be very, very early. Very, very soon from now. How soon till Pete builds the bridge? The bridge is actually built, mate. I'll be very, very honest. We've got nothing to hold back on there. The bridge that has been built looked like it was very simple. It was the bones. So we've been giving it a bit of a facelift, and now we're putting tokens through it as a trial, making sure that it all does what it's supposed to do, and then the audit process takes place, and then you're away. Will he be fired if he messes it up? We'll all be fired if he messes it up. Got fresh RFOX coming from Tube Staking, so happy. Yep, absolutely. Pineapple has to give us the banana if he screws up the pooch. Yeah, it screws the pooch, yeah. Just use some credit line on Nexo to get another 100,000. I'm a believer. Hey, tell us what this magic is, Milkman. A credit line on Nexo. That sounds like you speak in Chinese. So, okay, so you used your XRP as collateral on Nexo to get a loan to buy. Wow. What is the collateralized amount? Are you allowed to borrow like 60% or something? How does that work? Right, okay. You're moving Shiba to ETH to RFOX to VFOX. XP, did you really buy Shiba? Did everybody in this group buy Shiba?
I'm going to say I did.
Look at everyone say, nope, I didn't buy it. Nope. Way too late. Yeah, ask Ramses how much of her portfolio is Shiba. You got in early, Ramses. That's a real degen move, isn't it? if you get one of those ones pay off, holy guacamole, they do well, right? Gosh, how many of the coins are there? Look at that. 900 numbers equals $684. 13 billion. Wow, that's a very wow. I can't even see that. That's amazing. Well done. That's a very big risk. I don't know if I should be congratulating you or scolding you. 1 quadrillion. Everyone will be billionaires soon. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. Well, if you ride for free, Ramses, that's a good way to be, isn't it? It's like I was talking the other week to you guys about cake and bunny and all the rest of it. You saw, and I explained why. You see, that's not even on the same level. Like I'm talking about that, and I think I probably shouldn't even talk about that stuff because it's quite high risk and all the rest of it. And then I come in this room and you've got like some sort of like it's like a meme version of the meme coin. But it's way less stressful. Exactly. You know, with the when I was talking about Pancake and Pancake Bunny, the aggregator, those aggregators on the BSC side, it's really hard to find a new one. But some of them have got billions of dollars, like the Bunny having 2.8, and then you see during the week Binance Labs invests 1.6 million in the team behind Bunny Mound, and then people say, "Hey, that thing got listed on Binance." Yeah, well, it's all a pretty 1 + 1 = 2 type thing, but it's those aggregation tools while you're in a bull market. It's kind of like the old masternode system of if you get in early on an aggregator that locks up a lot of money, they do very, very well. Yeah, it's all pretty risky, isn't it, CH? Any thoughts on HBAR and Litecoin? I always say that you should put your money in stuff that's going to make you money. You shouldn't have your bias and don't be maximalist and all the rest of it. If it doesn't matter what it is, if it's going to make you money and you're trading to make money, then you shouldn't have a bias. HBAR, I don't know that much about. I know that in the beginning I had a little bit when it first started, and you could pretty much only get it on Liquid. I don't know where you can buy it now. I don't know. I haven't followed the project for a long, long time. And Litecoin, that was one that in the beginning of my time, it was around the, I don't know, 20 or 30 bucks or something, and it dipped for like 3 years down to nothing. And then it sort of resurged in the 2017, I think it was. And then as a result of that, then it started to get popular again. And Charlie Lee exited, obviously, but again, I don't actually follow the token much itself. I just obviously it's got high liquidity, and it's like anything else. If you can trade it, you can trade it. If you can get into a good position, then why not? But HBAR I haven't had a look at for a long time. I don't even know what they're doing now. All right. I've got another meeting to go to very shortly, but is there any last things we want to touch on as far as strategies? So just to remind you, to give you the recap, you'll be able to take your RFOX across the bridge very soon. So you'll be able to get RFOX on the BSC side in the normal pools. The staking and farming was still targeting the 30th, which we'll announce officially. So not long now. And before then, so next week you'll get a glimpse of what the virtual space is going to look like, and then we're going to do like we did with KOGs. Same thing. In the beginning with KOGs, we showed you one KOG, but then we showed you another one, and we did reveals. So the virtual space is going to be a similar situation. We'll give you a little glimpse, and then we'll show you more and more and more and more, and really build it up. That's the way we need to go, because we want to make sure that everything's finished before it's showed. So bit by bit. Will there be a snapshot for the drop Tuesday, or just anyone holding KOGs? No, it's a Skyscraper. It's a claim process. So it'll start at a certain time. You'll hit a claim button, and may the Oh, Gods be with you. It'll be 100 of each of the 2 designs and 1 per wallet. And that's it. It's a claim process, not a snapshot. That's another good question. XP. So we'll talk to you guys about that, but you will need, if you've never been over the BSC side before, you need BNB in the same way you need ETH for gas on Uniswap. You need a bit of BNB. If you send RFOX across the bridge and you have no BNB on the other side, you won't be able to do anything with it. So we'll explain all of that to you and take you through that. But anyone who's been across the BSC side know. And on the Binance bridge, you can actually use a little bit of your ETH to buy a bit of BNB. So you've got gas money, but we don't have that in the initial stages. You'll have to have BNB. Is there an alternative to MetaMask? Yes, everybody that I know is using Trust Wallet and saying that they love Trust Wallet. In MetaMask, we'll show you how you can set it up for BSC, for Binance Smart Chain as well. It's actually a pretty simple process. And the reason I can say that is because I'm a tech tart and I know how to do it. So we can show people how to do that. I'm going to do a little video on the weekend as well to sort of explain all of that. And then so you'll be able to take your RFOX across, and then the 30th will be the farming and staking. So we'll update you and let you know how it'll all work. Less than $1 for 2 transactions for TLM. That's good. Yeah, Trust Wallet already holds RFOX as far as I know. I've got lots of people saying that they use Trust Wallet for RFOX. I've never used it myself, but everybody that I speak to that's been around for a long time says they weren't really big fans of it because of who's behind it, but they turned around and said that they absolutely love the wallet and it's a great experience. So I'll have a bit of a play around with it. Yep, that could be a good idea. All right, guys, if you've got more questions, ping me. I'll try and answer them for you, but have an awesome weekend. Trade safe, be safe. But yeah, I would think that this is the calm before the storm because we're obviously going to start a big marketing ramp up now. So have a great weekend, be safe, and speak to you all shortly.